namaskar. Welcome to the Fanatics podcast. Today we have an amazing guest with us, Mr. Safa Azhar, who is the founder of Sonik Mobility. Sonik Mobility is working on building India's biggest EV infrastructure. So first of all, Safa bhaiya, welcome to our podcast of Fanatics. How are you feeling today?
Thank you, Rounak. Thank you for having me. I'm feeling good. It's a good experience. It's a good thing for me. You've made me into a celebrity here at Amity. Eventually, so yeah, it's really good to be here, basically. Yeah.
So, bhaiya, how is Sonik Mobility going nowadays? What are you doing? How is Sonik going?
Sonik Mobility is going pretty good, alhamdulillah. So we started as an EV charging company, just as an EV charging company, and now we've pivoted to a more expanded version of it, a more broader model. Ki at a startup, the first thing you have to do is ki yaar, you need to be ready to pivot all the time. Ki if this thing is not working, okay, go for this. If this is not working, go for this.
Okay, you started this company in 2023.
2023. We started this in 2023. So we basically registered the company before, but my co-founder and I, when we moved back to India, that's when we started the company.
So, bhaiya, I remember like when I was doing my, when I passed my 12th grade, I joined a company, Penny Up Investment, and I met you there first time. You came there to raise funding. I think then that time was the starting of Sonik when you were building your
charging infra, yeah.
Right. So I remember you that we were having a conversation regarding the future of Sonik, and now I'm also feeling very proud that okay, 2 years ago I met you, and today we are shooting this podcast when Sonik is a very good scale.
Yeah. Touchwood, we are doing like very good business right now. At that time, we came to Penny Up for funding, and I just bumped into you, and you were like, "Bhaiya, apna number de do," and then I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And that's how we got connected, and then. Yeah, that's it's really good to be here actually. Matlab ki now we are at a scale, we're doing good business, so everything is doing good.
So we बिल्कुल scratch से start करते हैं. We want to know everything about you and Sonik. So how did your entrepreneurial journey start? What inspired you to become an entrepreneur? What inspired you to start Sonik Mobility? Can you please give us a highlight on that?
So मेरा background, you know my background. So basically, I'll just open it to you as well. कि मतलब I did 4 months at Amity as well. I was here in 2012 when I did 4 months of aerospace engineering, but then I moved to the US at Penn State University in 2013. I did my BTech, MTech in aerospace engineering, and then in 2021 I moved back. My family background is business background, but I always wanted to, for me, being businessman or like business is the ultimate thing for anyone. मतलब for a person who has a family background or like for anyone, like entrepreneur पहले सबको लगता है यार कि it's very easy, मतलब it's business, it's very showbazi and everything, but it's not like that. So I wanted to become an entrepreneur. So in 2023, we registered the company, my co-founder and I, Prerak Gupta, so we both studied at Penn State, साथ में ही थे, I think you've met Prerak as well. So हम दोनों साथ में ही थे, and then Prerak was working in the US at Bender. So and then on a call one night he was like कि यार सफा भाई let's start our thing कि मतलब अब करते हैं I'll come back आप तो हो ही इंडिया में let's do this and then basically we started with various things like we started doing EV retrofitting, EV bikes and everything but eventually हमें ये लगा यार कि इंडिया में if there has to be EV penetration it has to be through EV charging infra and you need to have infra because anywhere we went all the surveys we did everyone was like कि यार चार्जर ही नहीं है कहाँ करेंगे चार्जर ही नहीं है कहाँ करेंगे कहाँ चार्ज करेंगे that's when we started okay let's start with EV charging infrastructure we set our first charging station in Delhi NCR in there's this society called Mahagun so we set up our first station in 2024 वहाँ से हमने start करा so before that actually हाँ ये so you know IIT Madras Research Park so we got incubated at IIT Madras Research Park मतलब वो भी एक स्टोरी है सो देयर इज अशोक झुंझुनवाला सर सो ही इज द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ आईआईटी मद्रास रिसर्च पार्क सो प्रेरक सेंट मी अ लेक्चर वन क्योंकि प्रेरक इज एन इलेक्ट्रिकल बैकग्राउंड आई एम एन एरोस्पेस इंजीनियर सो मुझे आई डिडंट हैव एन आइडिया ऑफ हाउ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स वर्क मेरे लिए तो यार रॉकेट था एवरीथिंग वाज रॉकेट फॉर मी सो या तो प्रेरक सेंट मी अ लेक्चर ऑफ डॉक्टर अशोक झुंझुनवाला एंड ही वाज लाइक कि सफा भाई एक बार लुक एट दिस लेक्चर यार दिस गाय इज टीचिंग अबाउट इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स एंड एवरीथिंग प्रीटी वेल तो एट दैट टाइम वी डिडंट नो हु दैट गाय वाज तो उसके नीचे एक ईमेल आईडी थी तो मैंने बोला यार ईमेल आईडी लेट्स जस्ट मेल दिस गाय कि मतलब कि सर वी हैव दिस आइडिया वी वांट टू डू दिस एंड दैट्स हाउ वी प्लानिंग ऑन एग्जीक्यूटिंग इट वुड यू बी लाइक अवेलेबल फॉर अ क्विक कॉल टू वैलिडेट आवर आइडिया और एनीथिंग लाइक दैट जस्ट गिव अस योर टाइम फॉर लाइक 2 minutes सो मैं उन्हें आई केप्ट ऑन मेलिंग हिम फॉर 8 months like totally. He never replied or anything. Obviously, we didn't know at that time. But then one day he was like, ki, okay, 10 a.m. Sunday. That's it. That was his reply.
Okay.
Okay, 10 a.m. Sunday. That was his reply. So हमने बोला okay sir, no problem, we'll be there. So we went on a call. We presented his lecture to him, and and he was like, यार ये I made this thing, and I was like, sir,
Right.
yeah, we like this is what we have. And then he was like, okay, come to Chennai, we'll meet. So in 2023, sir, we went to Chennai, we met him, and then he was like, okay, I like you guys. Not a lot of people come back from the US to start business in India. I like your idea and everything, and more than that, I like you guys. Let's get incubated you over here. वहाँ पे हम IIT मद्रास में incubate हो गए. So we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Basically, we didn't have to make our own charging stations, anything. Like we did our R&D for a good 1.5 year. We did.
This was before the incorporation of Sonik.
Yeah. So basically, Sonik got incorporated in that time itself. Basically, before the incorporation of Sonik, we had that idea. So that's how we started working towards it, and we met him and everything. We did our R&D and everything, and then in 24 we set up our first charging station. But since then we've actually evolved into an whole EV ecosystem company. We're not just doing charging, we're doing EV technology like charger management softwares, fleet management softwares, we're doing EV charging hubs. So charging is only 20% of our business now, 80% is our technology now. Because at the end of the day, for a company to sustain, you need to have revenue. That's what you're doing. But charging at that time wasn't that good of a deal for, like, not for me, but for everyone and anyone basically. Because utilization was not there in 2024. But since then to right now, we're seeing a growth of around 260%, 300%.
Right.
So that's why we pivoted to a more broader model of say EV technology, where we started giving out our softwares, we started giving out our hubs and everything, we started giving out our franchises. So that's how we started, and now this is what we are over here basically.
I read an article somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong, that right now there are 30,000 electric cars present in India, and the government is planning that by the end of 2030 there will be more than 1 lakh cars.
The government is planning more than 3 lakh cars.
Okay, wow.
Government is planning by 2030, but that's not feasibly possible because like you don't have
because of the lack of infrastructure.
Right. Basically, because in order to cater to those cars, you need at least 1 million charging stations. So we're not near that. But government is supporting us. We're doing that. Or in Delhi itself, so the ratio of charging stations to cars is 1:135. So basically, एक charging station पे 135 cars हैं.
And US, I think this number is 1:16,
1:19, 1:19 right now in the US.
This is a very big gap then, yeah. It's a very big gap.
हाँ, it is a very big gap. और क्योंकि market opportunity is there,
right?
Everyone is getting into it, but in order to sustain, you need to have utilization. So it's basically a chicken and egg problem right now. कि यार cars तो हैं, पर cars charging stations नहीं, charging stations लगा रहे हैं, so then we're not getting that much of utilization. Then how will the company sustain?
Right.
So it's a chicken and egg problem. So that's what we are doing. So we found actually a niche in this. कि हमने start करा जब तो everyone was like यार DC charging stations, fast charging, will set up 200 kilowatt, 300 kilowatt. So we, Prerak and I, we both talked, and we were like, nahin, we're not going to do that. So there's the other companies and they were doing residential at that time. कि यार we're going to set up in societies and all those places. But that didn't work out. Because उनका execution, I believe their execution wasn't up to par, कि मतलब उन्होंने execute उस तरीके से नहीं करा. और मैंने और प्रेरक ने यही सोचा यार कि हम residential ही target करेंगे. Because at the end of the day, 80% of charging is going to happen at homes. कोई इवन लगाया होना ईवी, प्रेरक ओन्स एन ईवी, हम भी कभी ये नहीं है यार क्या चलो अच्छा हमारा चार्जिंग स्टेशन वहाँ पे लगा है, वहाँ पे जाके चार्ज कर लेते हैं. नहीं, वी गोना डू इट एट होम, ओवरनाइट चार्जिंग. दैट्स 80% ऑफ, आई माइट बी रॉन्ग, इट माइट बी इवन मोर देन दैट, 80% चार्जिंग. तो हमने बोला कि यार हम रेजिडेंशियली नीश पकड़ेंगे और उसी से ही स्टार्ट करेंगे. एंड नाउ वी हैव मोर देन 120 स्टेशंस इन दिल्ली एनसीआर इटसेल्फ, लाइक all in residential societies, no commercial, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to ask you in this, that अगर हम EV इंडस्ट्री की बात करें स्पेसिफिक, so बहुत सारे स्टार्टअप्स हैं जो EV में हैं. Some are working towards, they are building their own fast-tag ecosystems in EV. Some are building, working on the battery ecosystem. So when did you decide that you want to go specific into the infrastructure part and not any other part?
So battery ecosystem comes personally. So for me, battery ecosystem comes after there has been a lot of penetration, and now we're getting used batteries. That's why battery recycling comes. So there are companies who are doing that. That's good. They have a first mover advantage. पर वहाँ तक पहले पहुँचे तो.
Right.
So that's why we were like कि यार we have to get into charging infra. First we need to have penetration and then we have to worry about okay कि now how are we going to dispose of the batteries and all those things. और सबसे अच्छी बात ये for me personally I believe कि यार battery swapping, like there's a lot of companies who are doing battery swapping and all this, that's a very intermediary solution, because at the end of the day every OEM, every manufacturer he wants his batteries to be fixed. So at the end of the day they need fast charging, कि चार्जिंग फास्ट हो जाए, बैटरी नहीं. जैसे हमारे फोन्स में भी होता था पहले, याद होगा नोकिया आता था कि बैटरी निकालो दूसरी लगा लो, फिर बैटरीज फिक्स हो गई ना.
राइट.
चार्जिंग फास्ट आई, स्वैपेबल बैटरीज नहीं आई. सो दैट्स व्हाट आई बिलीव पर्सनली कि बैटरी स्वैपिंग एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स आर वेरी इंटरमीडिएट सोल्यूशन. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे आपको यू नीड फास्ट चार्जिंग एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फॉर दैट. तभी वी स्टार्टेड वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स इट. अब इवन विद आवर फास्ट चार्जिंग हब्स फॉर लाइक वी आर केटरिंग टू 3-wheelers एज वेल, फॉर आवर फास्ट चार्जिंग हब्स हम 3-wheeler के लिए we're not doing battery swapping, we're giving them fast charging.
Okay. Right.
we're not working at battery swapping model at all. We're just giving them fast charging कि भाई आप charge करो and then you're on your way.
Okay. And ये कितने किलोवाट के चार्जेस हैं?
So basically fast charging that we're giving at our fast charging hub. So batteries for 3-wheelers are only rated at around 3 kilowatt per hour. So they can take 3 kilowatt
per hour. Okay.
So we are giving them 1C charging, which is called 1 hour charging. कि हम 3 kilowatt DC charging stations लगाते हैं and they can charge in 1 hour.
Okay, so you mentioned DC charging, so there are people in like their audience who doesn't know the difference between AC chargers and DC chargers. एक तो speed होती है कि speed of charging है, उसके अलावा बहुत चीज़ें होती हैं, but types of chargers, can you explain कि AC charging and DC charging में क्या difference है?
Basically AC charging is just alternating current. जो आपका पीछे से grid से current आ रहा, you're just passing that current onto the vehicle. DC charging you're converting the alternate current into direct current.
Right.
तो AC and DC charging is that. AC charging is basically you're getting at 240 volts and पीछे से जो भी आपका current आ रहा, and if you're giving it a supply at like 7 kilowatt, 11 kilowatt, 22 kilowatt, so you're just giving that current at alternate current. You're not converting it into direct current. And batteries are rated to just take it up to a certain level. For example, अगर आपकी Tata Nexon है, so that can only take 7 kilowatt AC charging.
7 kilowatt AC charging.
हाँ, Tata Nexon. So they cannot go above that. Above that you need DC charging because battery gets damaged.
Okay.
So DC charging is basically converting your alternate current into direct current, और उसके लिए AC to DC converter होता है, basically transformers और coils basically that convert your current to direct current. और फिर वो आप DC charging में भी batteries are rated, but in then you can give power up to like 200 kilowatt to a vehicle. जिसमें जो आप देखते हो कि half an hour charging, 15 minutes charging, these are all DC charging. So these are fast chargings.
So like what I have seen, I personally own a EV car. So जो जितने भी हमारे DC चार्जिंग स्टेशंस हैं दैट आर नॉट प्रेजेंट इन रेजिडेंशियल, दे ज़्यादातर वो हाईवेज पे होते हैं या कमर्शियल्स पे होते हैं या फिर रिजॉर्ट्स में होते हैं. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक, इसके पीछे क्या रीज़न है, एक टाइम के अलावा व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
सो बेसिकली रीज़न ये है, DC charging, if you're giving it every day to a battery, the battery gets damaged more than AC charging, because if you're giving it more than the rating that they have, the rating that the OEM has specified, अगर आप उस पर रोज दोगे, even Tata और like Tata, MG, anyone, they specify अगर आप 3 बार DC चार्ज कर रहे हो तो आपको 2 बार AC चार्ज करना ही होगा in order to safeguard the battery. On top of that, residential में people are living at homes. उन्हें तो ये है कि यार मैंने घर पे लगा दिया, even if it's taking longer than expected, not a problem. Even if it's taking 3 hours, 4 hours, I can be at home, charge and leave. DC is like top up charge. कि आप कहीं जाओ 15 मिनट में मुझे चार्जिंग चाहिए. That's why it's on highways, resorts and restaurants and all those places. क्योंकि आप कहीं जा रहे हो, you need top up charge. आपने 15 मिनट के लिए चार्ज करा and then you're on your way.
Okay, right.
So that's why DC, and that's why we also didn't get into DC initially for residential. We are only setting up AC charging stations. और उस पर यूटिलाइजेशन जो हमारा आ रहा है, it's going to 67%, 68%, where the industry average is only 12, like not even 12%, it's in single digits.
So आप DC charging के ऊपर वर्क नहीं कर रहे?
अभी नहीं कर रहे. We're not doing anything in DC charging. That's how we executed it. DC charging for us is only in our 3-wheeler fast charging hubs. That's where we're doing.
आपने अडानी का, आपने टाटा का अभी नेम लिया, you said MG. So many companies are going into the Charzone है, Charzingo है, there are many companies. So how is Sonik Mobility is competing from their competitors? What's your strategy and how are you different from your competitors?
So basically for us Sonic, जैसे first thing I said कि हमने एक niche define कर लिया है कि यार हम residential में जा रहे हैं, पर most of the other players are very infra heavy. कि मतलब उन्हें अपना चार्जिंग स्टेशन ही लगाना है, whether it's DC, AC. हमने वो नहीं करा है. We've started going into CPO enabler model कि हम आगे वाले पर्सन को वो करते हैं कि भाई if you want to set up a charging station, okay, we'll give you an end-to-end ecosystem for that. We'll give you the technology for that. We'll give you our charger management software. We'll give you our fleet management software. We'll give you our charging stations. और आप CPO बनो, you operate, you earn.
So CPO is basically a
Charge
franchisee
point
owner. Is he a franchisee
so CPO
owner?
is the term for charge point operator.
Charge point operator. Okay.
People who operate charging stations. So that's how we're doing. We're not very infra heavy, and for us, our technology is our moat. कि we are always innovating. That's my philosophy at the company कि यार innovation that has to happen. Like for Tata, for example, Tata, or like I won't take any particular names. Any big conglomerate, any big company, वो they work like a सरकारी company.
Right.
कि यार उसमें काम करना, you have to go through levels, they take time. That's why startups succeed. Startups में अगर आपको काम करना, हम लोग we are 20 people, काम करना, my like technician can come directly to me कि सर ये ऐसे करना है and I can approve it right there कि हाँ चलो ये ऐसे कर लेते हैं.
Okay, right.
So that's how we keep on innovating, and on that front we've actually come up with a technology. It's a copyrighted thing जो अभी हमने develop करी है, charging through WhatsApp.
Charging through WhatsApp. And how does it work basically?
So yeah, basically आप अगर if you go to any charging station right now, whether it's Tata, Jio or Static or any charging station, आपको उसकी apps चाहिए.
Right.
You need their apps, you need to top up their wallets, and फिर आपको charge करना है उस पे. So for example, I as a customer, it's a very big hassle for me यार कि मैं if I'm on a highway, if I find like okay, right now I found Tata, I downloaded Tata app, I recharge it for let's say 500 rupees. Charge करा, I only did charging for like 200 rupees, 300 rupees are still in the wallet. मैं आगे गया, I found Jio, then now I have to download the app again, recharge it. So for our thing, for WhatsApp, basically if you are on our network, you can literally start charging through WhatsApp. You just send hi, and we have an AI chatbot that guides you कि हाँ ठीक है, hi, do you want to start charge? You say yes, और फिर on top of that he's like okay, scan the QR code. If there's no QR code, you can just specify the location. We'll pinpoint your location. Okay, you're at this charging station and you want to pay. Okay, you want to charge for how much? 500 rupees. 500 rupees. आपने you paid over there, start charging, and even if you charge for 499 rupees, 1 rupees is going to be deducted automatically. आपका 1 रुपये वापस उसी टाइम चला जाएगा. You don't need any app, neither mine nor my competitors or no one's app. You don't need any app. WhatsApp 85 crore users हैं इंडिया में. So that's like the most empowering technology platform over here. तो उसी के थ्रू अगर आप चार्जिंग करा सकते हो, then that's nothing better than that.
It's okay. I go to your machine, I scan the QR code and WhatsApp
No,
the chatbot.
so you don't even scan it. You just send hi.
I just have to send a hi.
Hi on our number. हाँ, on our number.
Okay.
On our number वो पूछेगा कि okay, आप कहाँ पे हो? If you have a QR code, you can scan it directly, and if you're not, like if you don't have a QR code or anything, you can just say okay, I'm at this location. The chatbot identifies it, and then you're like okay, I want to charge for like 100 rupees, 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 10 units, so either price or unit. Once you're done, plug in, charge, and once you're done charging, the remaining balance is going to be given back to you.
This feature is available on all your chargers?
On all our charging stations, and now we're working with Tata as well to incorporate their charging stations on our network.
Wow.
So if you go to a Tata station and do hi through WhatsApp, you'll be able to charge.
Sounds interesting. So first of all, you did a collaboration with Tata Motors, so congratulations for that.
Thank you. So that's
So what's exactly the collaboration?
So
what's strategic you are?
So that's also like that was also very मतलब हमारे लिए भी काफी वो था कि मतलब अचानक से how Tata. So Tata, we've been in touch with Tata for a very long time. Tata ki yaar, we want to collaborate with you and all those things. But then obviously the talks turned cold and everything. But eventually Tata reached out to us again.
Okay, wow.
We are changing our company, so Tata Motors and Tata Commercial Vehicles. They're now two separate entities now. So Tata Motors, we were trying to partner with Tata Motors, the company that brings out these cars like Tata Nexon and all. But Tata Commercial Vehicles is the one that brings out the Ace, Ace Pro, Ace Intra-City and all that. But for that, they needed charging infra players.
Right.
So they needed infrastructure to sell their vehicles.
For AC charging?
For AC and DC both.
For AC, DC both. Okay.
So they needed infrastructure to sell those vehicles. For example, if you are a Tata customer and if you go to Tata and I'll pitch you Ace Pro to you and you'll be like, यार मैं ले तो लूँ मैं charge कहाँ करूँगा? So they wanted to tackle that problem. That's why they've partnered with CPOs all over India. There are like 13 CPOs right now all over India because not a single CPO will be able to cater to Tata pan India.
Right.
So they partnered it region wise. So for us, we're the partners in Delhi, NCR, but the MOU is for whole of India, but we're targeting Delhi, NCR, and UP right now. We'll be setting up charging stations for Tata Ace Pro and intra-cities basically for all the, and all those vehicles would be charging at our stations. They have a target of selling like 1,000 per month in this area itself. So, and all those vehicles would be charging at our stations.
So Sonik is the authorized charging partner of Tata Motors.
Tata Motors in
great
all over India, but we're focused on Delhi, NCR, and UP right now.
Oh, great! Congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
One major question, and I'm personally very excited to know your answer on this. Of course, whenever in India, 95% of the startups fail. And my question to you is, when you started, of course, they बहुत सारे challenges होंगे जो आपने face करे होंगे. So what were those challenges that occurred when you were starting, and how did you overcome these challenges?
So when you start a company, it's for us it was like, for me as well and my co-founder, we both came from a business background. So we were like, yeah, ठीक है, it's a business, we'll be able to start it and like do it. But eventually both of us were like, yeah, नहीं, we're gonna do it from scratch. मतलब जो सारी चीज़ें हैं, we're gonna not take any support from anywhere. Obviously we did, because our background and everything is totally different for what we are doing right now. Initial challenges, there are always a lot of आज तक हम face कर रहे हैं. There were like so many times, like it's been 2 years. शुरुआत में तो हर महीने ये होता था यार कि चलेगी नहीं चलेगी बंद करना पड़ जाएगा, अब चलेगी नहीं चलेगी बंद करना पड़ जाएगा. But in order to overcome those challenges, I'll say, अगर आपके पास टीम बहुत अच्छी है, if you have people who believe in you कि यार चलो, मैं और प्रेरक जैसे we both are very close, कि कभी होता था कि यार अब क्या करना है यार, what are we going to do, अब क्या करें, कि जैसे पहले 2-4 महीने तो I'll say हमारे पास चार्जिंग रेवेन्यू में सिर्फ 2-2 रुपये, 3-3 रुपये, 4-4 रुपये, मैक्सिमम 12 रुपये पर मंथ आए थे. तो हमें ये था यार कि अब क्या करना है. बट इफ़ यू हैव ईच अदर्स बैक, और सबसे ज़्यादा फॉर अ स्टार्टअप टू सक्सीड, ये मेरा पर्सनल वो है कि अगर आप लगे हुए हो तो आप सक्सीड हो जाओगे. इफ़ यू परसिवियरिंग, आप हो ही जाओगे, कहीं ना कहीं से आपका रास्ता बन ही जाएगा. फॉर स्टार्टअप्स लाइक पीपल से यार कि बहुत हार्ड वर्क है, ये है वो है. ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, आई बिलीव कि आपको यू हैव टू बी एट द राइट प्लेस एट द राइट टाइम, और लक आपका साथ देगा. और उसका भी यू कैन से देयर इज अ फ्लिप साइड टू दैट एज वेल, कि अगर आप हर जगह हाथ पैर मारोगे तो कहीं ना कहीं आपका रास्ता खुलेगा, तो लक अपने आप ही आपका साथ दे देगा.
क्या बात है, बिल्कुल सही बात है,
वो वाली बात है. और फिर वैसे हमने स्टार्ट करा एंड वी स्टिल गोइंग. मतलब आते अभी भी मोमेंट्स आते हैं और कि अब कैसे होगा, क्या होगा. अब जैसे टाटा इज अ वेरी ह्यूज डील फॉर अस, अभी भी हमें कि हाँ लाइक ओके, हाउ आर वी गोना लाइक अचीव द टारगेट्स और ये वो. बट इवेंचुअली इफ यू हैव अ टीम, इफ यू हैव पीपल, दैट्स यू विल बी एबल टू सर्वाइव. अभी मतलब आई हैव अ वेरी गुड टीम, तभी तो मैं यहाँ बैठ के पॉडकास्ट में बात कर रहा हूँ. आई एम टॉकिंग विद यू कि बिकॉज दे आर वर्किंग हार्ड एंड एवरीथिंग इज लाइक एवरीवन इज वर्किंग हार्ड, एंड इफ यू हैव अ वेरी गुड टीम यू विल बी एबल टू survive.
एक चीज मैंने अपने लास्ट पॉडकास्ट में बोली दैट एक देयर इज अ कोट दैट बिहाइंड एवरी सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस देयर इज अ सक्सेसफुल टीम.
डेफिनेटली
अ टीम विल आपके जो भी गोल्स है, टीम विल मैच दैट. एंड आई थिंक स्टार्टिंग में इश्यूज भी आते हैं व्हेन यू आर बिल्डिंग अ टीम. सम पीपल डोंट अलाइन विद योर विजन. सो ये प्रॉब्लम आपने फेस करी थी व्हेन यू वर बिल्डिंग योर ओन टीम?
हाँ डेफिनेटली. वी मतलब फॉर हायरिंग प्रोसेस इनिशियली तो हम फाउंडर्स ही वी यूज्ड टू डू हायरिंग एंड एवरीथिंग. तो तब वी हैड द चांस टू डायरेक्टली इंटरेक्ट विद द पीपल, कि मतलब कि जो भी हमारा कैंडिडेट्स आ रहे हैं उनसे हम डायरेक्टली इंटरेक्ट कर सकते थे. कि तो अगर इफ़ वी डिडंट फाइंड अ पर्सन हु इज लाइक नॉट अलाइंड विद आवर गोल, कि अगर उसे लग रहा है कि जैसे आई वांटेड टू मूव द कंपनी फ्रॉम बीइंग चार्जिंग हैवी टू टेक्नोलॉजी हैवी, तो अगर कोई पर्सन आ रहा है हु इज लाइक कि यार नहीं वी हैव टू डू चार्जिंग, और लाइक उसका माइंडसेट है कि यार हम चार्जिंग कंपनी, सो देन दैट्स अ नो. यू हैव टू एक्ट फास्ट. मैं स्टार्टअप में ये भी कहता हूँ कि यू हैव टू एक्ट फास्ट, फेल फास्ट और सक्सीड
फास्ट. राइट.
अब जैसे हमने ये जो हब्स स्टार्ट करे थे अपने, सो वी जस्ट स्टार्टेड 4 months अगो. मैं मतलब प्रेरक ना वी टॉक एवरी डे, और हर डिसीजन वी टॉक टू ईच अदर बिफोर टेकिंग एनी डिसीजन. इट्स नॉट लाइक ओके आई एम द वन हु इज टेकिंग डिसीजन, वी बोथ टेक द डिसीजन. तो मैं बोला यार ऐसा करते हैं, ये 2 wheelers का पेनिट्रेशन बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है, लेट्स स्टार्ट अ हब फॉर 2 wheelers. लेट्स स्टार्ट समथिंग इन दिल्ली एनसीआर इटसेल्फ वेयर वी हैव कंट्रोल. तो उसने बोला हाँ लाइक इट्स अ गुड आइडिया, लाइक वी कैन स्टार्ट इट. बात करी 3 दिन के अंदर वी स्टार्टेड आवर फर्स्ट हब. पहला हब ही चल गया, फिर देन वी वर लाइक ओके दैट्स गुड, लाइक नाउ कीप ऑन स्केलिंग इट. मतलब इट्स वेरी गुड, यू हैव टू बी वेरी प्रोएक्टिव. ये मैंने देख लिया है. मतलब जब आपने आइडिया कंसीव करा एंड इन प्रैक्टिकलिटी कब करा, देयर शुड बी वेरी लेस टाइम.
राइट.
क्योंकि ये हमने पर्सनली देखा है कि अगर इफ यू आर लेट समवन एल्स वुड बी डूइंग इट. आप अगर पहले कर लोगे, फेल हो गया तो ठीक है, दैट्स अ वेरी गुड लर्निंग लेसन फॉर यू कि यार कि चलो ठीक है ये आइडिया नहीं चल रहा है. इट्स बेटर टू फाइंड आउट आइडियाज दैट आर नॉट वर्किंग rather than the ones that are working initially.
Right. So we're coming to our next segment, which is the future of EV. What do you think the future of EV industry in India is going to be in the next 5 years and the next 10 years? EV industry कितनी बड़ी हो सकती है according to you?
So EV industry is going to explode. It is मतलब this is just the वो कहते हैं ना यार कि वो you guys have seen the Gaussian curve, right? I don't know. You're not an engineering background. You're an engineering background?
No, I'm from management background.
Management background. So Gaussian curve goes like this bell curve, right? So we are just here right now in the EV industry. It has to go like this. So abhi it's going to explode like exponentially right now. And in order to meet that demand, you need to have infra, you need to have players. It's not like yaar there's competition. Like I have to kill that competition to succeed. Yeah, market is going to be so huge. You need different players because you alone won't be able to cater to that.
Right. So where this podcast is coming to an end. So just last few questions. First, मेरा जो आपसे है कि गवर्नमेंट का क्या सपोर्ट है in this whole EV system? Are they providing policies? Because I recently read somewhere there's a FAME 2 policy in which government is helping franchisee owners to set up their own franchisees. So what's your view on this? Is government right now supporting, or what's your take on this?
So government is supporting. So FAME 2 is the old policy. Now there's this PM E-Drive policy.
PM E-Drive, right?
PM E-Drive. So basically they're giving subsidies to charging stations. People who want to set up or operate charging stations, 80% of subsidy. For example, अगर आपने 10 लाख का charging
80% subsidy.
80% subsidy PM E-Drive में. So if you're through Ministry of Heavy Industries. So अगर आपने set up, if you set up a charging station for 10 lakhs, you're gonna get a subsidy for 8 lakh rupees.
Okay.
So you'll just have to basically pay 2 lakh rupees, spend 2 lakh rupees eventually. In essence.
Is this active?
Yeah, PM E-Drive is active. FAME 1 was the first one. FAME 2 is PM E-Drive is predecessor, and now
this is
PM E-Drive one. So this is how the government is supporting. So this is just for the charging infra players. For OEMs, there are subsidies. कि आप अगर if you're an OEM for EV charging infra, charging stations or things like that, you get subsidies. Like I'm not too sure what those subsidies are because we're not into manufacturing business right now. And GST rates are down.
Yes, now I think the GST is reduced.
Even before this, even before GST 2.0, the GST rates were at just 5% for EV charging infra. So that's how they're promoting. Like for vehicles, when you're buying a vehicle, the GST on an electric vehicle is only 18%, whereas 5% now.
Right.
Whereas in other vehicles, it's like 28%, 40%. So yeah, basically
and
that's
road
how,
tax and a lot of things.
And you don't have to pay you don't have to pay registration and all that once you buy a new electric vehicle. So that's how government is supporting it.
I think that's right. EV car is, I think, if we talk about the financial comparison, EV car I think initially costs you more, but eventually, if I see a long-term benefit, it will
total cost of ownership is always lower. It's around 40% lower than your normal ICE vehicle within first 5 or like I'll say even within 3 to 4 years itself. Like you'll break even within that.
Okay, so it will match the price of the petrol cars and the diesel cars.
Yeah, because then you will be spending more on petrol if you bought a petrol car. The total cost of ownership, the total running cost. कि अगर आप 3 साल पेट्रोल कार चलाओगे और 3 साल ईवी कार चलाओगे तो आपके पैसे कम ईवी में लगेंगे, पेट्रोल में you'll be paying more.
I saw a discussion कि parliament में ज़्यादा the new fuel which came, I'm unable to remember the name, E20.
Yeah, E20 with the 20% of ethanol. 20%.
I think people are more preferring electric vehicles than E20 vehicles because बहुत सारी problems आ रही है in the E20 vehicles.
So basically for E20 vehicles, so they're diluting 20% with ethanol. Ethyl alcohol basically, ethyl alcohol. So अगर आप वो कर रहे हो तो उससे the vehicle is giving out lower mileage. Mileage भी आपका lower आएगा और problems भी create होंगी because it's not 100% basically petrol, gasoline. So that's why, and people are going for electric vehicles right now. First it was just like कि यार I'm very environmentally conscious कि यार those people were buying electric vehicles first कि यार मैं बहुत environmentally conscious हूँ, I want to do something for the environment, I'm going to play my part. But now people are seeing the advantage in electrical vehicles कि यार कि नहीं, this is good for the environment, that's a good thing, but at the end of the day it's costing me less because India is very price sensitive market.
Right, absolutely.
It is a very price sensitive market. अगर आप ₹1 भी किसी से कम हो तो people are going to go for that. I won't say they're going to go for that, they look for value for money. कि अगर आपका 1 रुपये कम है, अगर if you're giving me same value or better value, I'll go for that.
Indian consumer is this only. They want value for money.
Yeah, they want value for money, and it's very price sensitive market. So that's why people are buying EVs. Or EVs जो before they used to cost, like for example ZS EV.
ZS EV.
We are partners with MG Delhi NCR dealerships as well. So it used to cost around 30 lakhs, but now it's like 20 lakhs. So now the prices are decreasing as well.
Okay.
So that's why people are buying more and more
EVs.
in EVs.
Got it. So there are a lot of students with us from different domains, mostly from management and they're from other domains as well. So if anyone wants to start a sustainable venture or a venture in EV industry, so what's your advice to the studentpreneurs or the students who are watching this podcast?
So basically to start, I'll say first thing, perseverance. कि यार मतलब once you start, you have to keep working towards it. So I remember a quote: a startup dies not when the funding dies. A startup dies when the founders run out of energy.
Right.
Until unless you have energy, yeah, you'll be able to do anything. EV market right now is very competitive market. Everyone is looking at the lucrative picture. कि यार हाँ, there's so much money in this. We're gonna earn things like that. But it's very competitive. But if you start doing something, I'll say start with charging infra. That's what we did. But focus more on technology. कि how I can monetize my technology, कि how I can basically empower other people to become charging infra players or become charging host basically. And that's I'll just say perseverance. और तो कुछ there's nothing else to it. Perseverance. कि you need to keep on working. मतलब there are times कि हम लोगों को लगता है यार कि अब चलेगी. Even now अभी भी होता है कि चलेगी नहीं चलेगी, but you have to push through it.
Great to hear that. I hope Sonik Mobility becomes a unicorn. And once again, thank you so much for coming to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, we are in audience. We have a lot of students here who have different questions for you. So we can start with a question. You can raise your hands.
Yes, please.
Hello, sir. What I wanted to ask, of course, you explained how you're solving the biggest problem that Indian customers have with EV. Are you or your team at Sonik working at the perspective of the customers as well, the marketing, and how are you luring people in to buy more EV vehicles?
So I'll tell you, कि word of mouth marketing is the best form of marketing. हम लोग we do marketing, we do everything, but once a customer comes to you, कि यार like यार I own an EV, it's working very good, I have a charging station, मैं यहाँ पे charge कर सकता हूँ, and that's how मतलब the word of mouth marketing is the best kind of marketing. Or if you have a closed group, like for example residential societies or like where people know each other, कि अगर if I go to someone यार I bought an EV, I'm charging at this station, you can buy an EV, you can save this much. That's the best form of marketing. Word of mouth. And on top of that, हम अपनी marketing, obviously for a company to work, sustain, we do our own marketing as well. कि हम लाते हैं, we show people the advantages of owning an EV. That's what I talked about. कि यार आप इतना EV own करोगे तो आपकी इतनी cost of ownership कम हो जाएगी, आप इतनी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कम करोगे, दिल्ली में pollution का बहुत बड़ा problem है, तो वो आप कब तक मतलब उसमें you'll play your part basically. That's how we're trying to do marketing and everything, and people are buying EVs. We've seen a lot of growth. Like last month to this month, there's like 47% growth in EV sales in India. So it is growing day by day.
Next question.
Good afternoon, sir. So my question is, while EV reduce emissions, battery disposal raise concern, environmental concern. So how can this be tackled?
So battery disposal is a very huge problem right now. मतलब it's not that huge of a problem, but it is going to be eventually. But that's why there is a company who are tackling this problem at the ground level. There's a company who are doing battery recycling. अगर आप battery recycle करके for example, if a new battery is going to work for 10 years, अगर आप recycle करके if you can make it work for another 8 years, that's a huge like a huge win for the company and the OEM manufacturer as well. So that's what the companies are doing. Battery recycling is the way to go for battery disposable, because eventually यही होगा ना कि अगर if there's like so many EVs, so battery disposable after 10 years, 15 years is going to be a huge problem. And that's why there's companies who are doing battery recycling. They're getting very good funding, they're working good, they're doing good business. So battery recycling is the way to go.
Battery swapping, which you told right now.
Battery recycling. Battery swapping is a different thing.
Okay.
So battery recycling would work with battery swapping as well. For example, अगर आपकी 10 साल कोई battery चल रही है और now you have to dispose it. just like your phone battery.
Just like replace and repair.
Just like your phone battery. अगर नया phone लिया तो 100% battery. After a year it goes to 98%, 80%. So after 10 years the battery degrades to around 80%, 75%. अगर आप उसकी life बढ़ा के 10 years plus add 8 more years after recycling its components, that's the way to go.
Right. So next question. Yes, please.
Hello, sir. I would like to ask, how do you see EV industry creating new job opportunities in India?
Go ahead.
Yeah, new job opportunities in India.
So any industry, if you come up with a business, that is going to create new job opportunities. EV industry especially, like technicians, engineers, it's going to be like software engineers, you can say. Like it's a mixture of everything. You need hardware, you need software, you need people to manage it. So it's going to create a lot of new jobs. Like at our company itself, we started with like 2 people, Prerak and now we're more than 25 people. So that's how we're creating job opportunities. And most of them are basically technicians, engineers, and salespeople. So that's how we're doing. Take example of Zomato and Swiggy. They have more than 2 million people. कि मतलब they've given job opportunities to those people who are not even
delivery partners. कि
मतलब यार कि you just need to have an EV or like a scooty and then you can be at a job.
Thank you, sir.
Any other student?
Hello, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask, what are the biggest misconceptions about consumers about EVs in India?
सबसे बड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन तो मैंने देखा कि आग बहुत लगती है कि ईवी की बैटरी ब्लास्ट हो जाएगी. सो दैट इज लिटरली अनवारंटेड. मतलब आई हैव सीन कि यार मतलब कैसे, हाउ इज दैट. पेट्रोल व्हीकल्स, आई एम एन इंजीनियर टू.
पेट्रोल में ज्यादा रिस्क है.
पेट्रोल हैज मोर रिस्क. ईवीज हैव वेरी ह्यूज फेल सेफ कि यार बैटरी मैनेजमेंट सॉफ्टवेयर कि भाई थर्मल एमिशंस कम होगा, कि भाई बैटरी आपकी इतनी हीट से ज़्यादा बैटरी ले नहीं सकती है, करंट ले नहीं सकती, इससे ज़्यादा दे नहीं. सो देयर लाइक सो मेनी फुल प्रूफ मैकेनिज्म्स इन ईवी. और एक दूसरा की रेंज, कि मान लो रेंज दिखाता 200 है, जाएगा 50 किलोमीटर. मैंने बोला दिस इज ऑल्सो वेरी मतलब a huge misconception. For example, even if a petrol vehicle, अगर आप पेट्रोल व्हीकल का एवरेज है 10 किलोमीटर पर लीटर, अगर आप उसको 200 की स्पीड पे चलाओगे तो उसका एवरेज 4 रह जाएगा. जस्ट लाइक ईवीज कि अगर आप 200 किलोमीटर की रेंज दिखा रहा है, अगर इफ यू विद इन द रेंज ऑफ 80 to 100 और नॉर्मल स्पीड लिमिट्स, सो आपकी रेंज उतनी रहेगी. इफ यू गोइंग टू लाइक 160 180 तो आपकी 100 किलोमीटर रह जाएगी. सो दैट्स अ मिसकंसेप्शन दैट पीपल आर लाइक यार मैं जाऊंगा मैं फंस जाऊंगा. But that misconception is also fueling the need for EV charging infra. कि यार जितने चार्जर होंगे उतना ही हमारे लिए आसानी रहेगी. Even if it goes 50 kilometers, I'll be able to charge somewhere.
मतलब I don't think so ज़्यादा difference होता है between the range and the actual goes in EVs.
Not at all. Like I'll say 5 to 7% error margin is over there, but not more than that.
Any other student? We can
Hi,
take
sir.
one or two questions.
So my question is, what are the biggest technological challenges that in building sustainable EV infrastructure?
So basically technological challenges right now, अभी जैसे सबसे बड़ी जो एक अगर मैं बोलूँ एक grid challenge भी होता है कि यार अगर if all the vehicles come on become EVs, so is the grid going to be able to accommodate that? That's why we need solar power plants और ये सारी चीज़ें आ रही हैं. And for technological challenges as well कि EVs in themselves, for example battery, I'll talk about Tata Nexon. Tata Nexon can take up to 60 kilowatt DC. So that's a technological challenge that need to be solved कि यार how can we take it to like 200 kilowatt DC? क्योंकि we know how the charger can be made. We know how to make that charger, how to supply that power eventually. And on the charging side, the problem is how fast can we supply it. कि अभी तो चलो like in China there's this BYD's ultra charger जो 5 मिनट में चार्ज कर सकता है. But that's a very good technology. And how we can get it over here and how we can supply that at the same rate, same technology, that's a huge challenge for us. And how we're working towards it. We're actually working on a patented model as well कि जिससे हम will be able to charge any electric vehicle in like 10 to 15 minutes at max. But so these are all the technological advancements that we need to keep on making. Innovation at the end of the day, that's what keeps the company alive. That what like segregates you from the competition.
Right. One last question we can take.
Hello, sir. Hello. I have a question. It's like, how do government policies affect the EV industry in the future, like both positively and negatively?
Right now तो अभी तो government policies का effect is positive only because
we talked. Yes.
yeah,
As we
the
discussed.
we talk कि मतलब अभी वो subsidies they're giving subsidies in everything and for OEMs for people who want to own an EV, so it is a positive effect and it's a snowball effect कि once policy works and then the other policies keep on working on that, they keep on adding to that and it has a positive effect eventually. So there's no downside that I see to it right now, but eventually government works takes time. अगर थोड़ा वो fast track हो जाएगा then it's going to be a more exponential growth.
Right. So once again, Safa Bhaiya, thank you so much to coming to our podcast. Hoping to see Sonik Mobility as the next unicorn. All the best for your ventures.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.